UX slogan number 16, UX researchers, we like to watch, refers to the importance of collecting behavioral data by studying human behavior to inform design decisions. I'm going to illustrate this with a common example. Suppose a product team is thinking about designing a new feature, and so the team recruits and asks customers what they would think about this feature if it were to exist and whether they'd use it. The team is delighted to hear that all customers they speak to think it's a great idea and that they'd be keen to use this new feature in the future. Now, fast forward, say 6 months, and the team is baffled. Very few customers are using the new feature. Even with making the feature more obvious and discoverable in the UI, they still don't see the uptake they expected. Sound familiar? While speaking to people about what they do or how they would do something can be helpful, it doesn't always give us the full picture. This is because there are limitations to reported behavior. For example, people often can't tell you accurately how they do something because they forget details. They're not aware of some of their behavior, or they might not want to tell you what they really do for fear of judgment. These issues are what led the anthropologist Margaret Mead to say, what people say, what they do, and what they say they do can be very different things. And Margaret Mead was not the first to express this sentiment. Even René Descartes, a famous philosopher who lived in the 1600s, was known to have said, "To know what people really think, pay regard to what they do rather than what they say." So what should the team have done to understand if that feature would actually be useful? They should have observed their customers' behavior. How are they solving the problem that this new feature is intending to solve right now? They should have mocked up a wireframe or a prototype and observed how customers responded to it. Both of these activities would have led the team to some more nuanced conclusions about the necessity of that feature and what their customers would need from it. So now we understand that it's important to study human behavior. How do we do this in our field? First, in your discovery efforts, don't just interview people. Go into the field, your user's environment, and watch them to learn how they do things. Are they facing challenges? Do they create workarounds? Or do they cope just fine and are efficient at the task? Second, when running usability testing, make sure you're giving people realistic tasks to do on your design. You'll learn the most by watching people attempting those tasks, rather than by asking them to take a look at something you've mocked up and to give you feedback. Newsflash, that's not really a usability test. Also, don't be worried if your participants are not saying interesting things or talking all the time in your test sessions. We learn the most from watching what people do when using a design. Seeing a participant struggle to do something is more insightful than hearing their opinion on the UI design. So, remember to watch, not just ask. Regularly watching your users' behavior will tell you a lot about what to build and how to build it.